Lights on, quick! City's under attack. We need those command codes. Did you say the city was under attack? I got nothing else to do. I can help you out. No. You're too valuable. You gotta stay here. We'll give you protection from the priests. We just need the command code to get the lifeless up and running so we can defend the city. I don't really like messing around with giving people my command code, so why don't I just come with you? No, you can't come. How many times do I have to say this? It'll be easier if I just come with you. Like, trust me. Trust me. Your Majesty, women and children are dying. We need those command codes. Fine. Command codes are Simon. Sorry, Majesty, what was that? Command code is Simon Says. Hello everybody, this is Mrxfix here, but feel free to call me Rob, and this is third time's the charm. You would think one day I would understand the turn on the microphone input for OBS, but was not today. I'm still waking up from still waking up, that's for sure. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Book Club. Today we're talking about Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, and I listened to the audiobook, which was narrated by Alyssa B. Don't know how to say her last name, it's right here. And I think she did a really good job. I'm not going to try to say her last name though, because I'm going to look like a fool more than I already make myself look like a fool on this channel. So my overall spoiler-free thoughts, I really liked it. I thought it was better than Elantris, which, you know, I guess that was his first published book, and I think this was his fourth or fifth. So just by timeline, he's going to get better, and it should get better and better from here, I'm hoping. I really enjoyed this book. I like the world building and the magic system. This can be a very minor world building spoiler, but basically everyone has their breath, which is their soul, and from there you can actually sell your soul and, you know, make money, or if you want to, you know, move up in the world, you can buy other people's souls and accumulate breath. And I think like 50 souls is like the first tier magic system where you're considered like a magic user. And it's cool how Sanderson has the representation of the magic system throughout the world. So people with more breath, they're gonna see things more vibrant, they're gonna be able to hear more, they kind of feel their senses are heightened and all that. And it's really cool that as they use their magic and some of the things they can do with it, there's a visual representation where some of the color, like from their clothing or, you know, different parts of them, like grays out because they're using the breath to, you know, do the magic. And I thought that was really cool. It was right in the prologue when they talk about the events that happened there. I was hooked on it immediately. I'm like, this is such a cool concept, and I'm excited that we're gonna get some more Warbreaker in the future. Well, I'll talk about that actually. I'll talk about that in the spoiler section, because I can't really talk about my full thoughts on that without, you know, getting into spoilers. So with Rob's Book Club videos here on out, what I'm going to be doing is chronologically my experience through the books by doing some vlogging. So I just kind of sporadically, as things came to my head or as events happened, I thought that I had enough emotional reaction to talk about or things like that. I just stopped and recorded what my thoughts were. I also have predictions and things like that, and I was right on some things, I was very wrong on other things. If you guys have any suggestions on if you want me to vlog more, or kind of, you know, any recommendations or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I can do to make this a more enjoyable experience for you. Let's roll it. So I just started Warbreaker today, and I already have some thoughts even after reading the prologue and the first chapter. First off, the prologue I thought was really well done. I'm very intrigued about this magic system, how it has to do with color and everything. It kind of it seems like when I read what people say when like they're on like acid trip and things, like, oh man, the colors are just more colory, man. The sounds are just more sounds, man. And I don't think, I mean, who knows? Sanderson doesn't seem like the type of guy that, you know, would partake in that. But yeah, no, maybe reading some of it was some influence in that. I doubt it, but you know, that's just my thoughts. And I think the whole breath system, we've only seen it really once, but I think that's really cool how they can use their breath to transform inanimate objects into objects, and then they can get them back and everything. I think this is gonna be a very interesting book already starting off. I'm enjoying it. Chapter 1, as soon as we got the Siri, and Siri was like talking about her sister, like, oh, she's like the prim proper sister. I'm like, yeah, F that sister and everything. I don't know why. I'm already on Siri's side, and
man, Sanderson really knows how to get you to dislike people. Like, you already see that the king, this is in the spoiler section, so he, right at the end, he's like, oh, I've had this contract that my oldest daughter had to go and marry the God King when she turned 22. He's like, it didn't say which daughter, so I'm gonna send Ciri, this younger girl. I'm just like, man, F that king. What, like, seriously, what is his problem? So I think it's, yeah, screw that guy. I'm really interested in this match system. I want to see how it goes. All right, halfway through chapter 2, we'll give Avenna a pass for now, but we'll see about her. I think it's a very interesting take. It's a very interesting insight on her emotions too, how she kind of feels like her whole life is worthless now and meaningless, and that she feels robbed. But anyway, screw the king still. F that guy. All right, so I just finished chapter 12. I think the whole, like, rebirth of the gods thing is interesting, that they come back for a purpose. And my theory right now is that Lightsong is gonna help Ciri or Ciri's sister in some way. That's his purpose there. Obviously, this is getting built up for a redemption arc on Lightsong, how he doesn't want to do anything, and then he's gonna give his life for a noble cause. I think that's just the way it's gonna go, and I think it's gonna be either to save one of the two royals' life, or in the same vein, gonna stop the war that he keeps on, that he visions. So I'm guessing he, saw the future, as they alluded to in this past chapter, and he knew that if he went back, he could avoid all this bloodshed and everything. So that's my theory. Only time will tell, and we'll find out. So this is something I was just thinking this morning. Well, actually, it was last night. I was trying to fall asleep, but I kind of thought about it more this morning. I haven't read anything today since the last update, but I'm starting to think, because I was saying Lightsong, I think, is going to have to sacrifice himself and something like that. And then all the deities are like two words together, like Lightsong, and then there's the beauty one. And then what's this book called? It's called Warbreaker. So I think in some way, Ciri might end up almost dying, or she will die, but Lightsong will sacrifice himself, and then Ciri is reborn as a deity Warbreaker because she'll pacify whatever war is about to happen. So we'll see if that happens, but that's just kind of my thought, and kind of taking a meta approach about, the title of the book and everything. So we'll find out. Var's Lightbringer. I'm calling Light Singer. Sorry, calling it now. Didn't know how he died. Everyone said he died bravely. Peasant revolt. Yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. All right, so my last bit of reading for today, I think I got to, chapter 21. I do think it's really cool how the priesthood is like controlling the king. Like, it makes sense that he has such a strong power, and they're so afraid of losing it, or him like taking control and using that power for his own volition, that they cut out his tongue. Like, that's just that's a cool problem-solving way for them. I'm really intrigued by all this, so I'm liking it so far. The ambassador is interesting. I think he may have said it, but sometimes with the audiobooks, I kind of miss some of the finer details because, I'm driving, so I can't give it my complete attention. I think it's interesting that he could be going to steal like a god's breath, and like, what does that do if that already elevates them to like a higher tier of magic power? So we'll see if that's the case. But yeah, I'm also thinking that the sword. I'm thinking that the sword is also an awakened being, but I mean, I don't think that's any surprise. But yeah, so I'm enjoying the book so far. I'm excited to keep on reading more. I wasn't planning on recording today, but I just finished, chapter 26, and they kind of gave me some hints and theories that just thought I'd get off. I'd spit out for the sake of evidence of, on the small chance that I'm right, that's going to happen, that this stuff happens. I can say I called my shot, but I'm probably wrong. Just my thoughts so far. Kind of getting sick of Lightsong and is it Denth? They have very much kind of the similar personalities and almost like the same bits and same gimmicks as their humor and all that. And at first I thought it was humorous the first time. It was like, I don't know what the worst thing about mercenaries is, but now I'm just like, okay, yeah, you've heard this. So to me, it's just not enduring as I'm sure it's supposed to be. But that's probably my thing. Lightsong had a very interesting chapter this time, where he goes and investigates the I forget her name, the other goddess that had the break-in, and I thought it was interesting that he talked about there being two people breaking in, and we know is it Varish, Varish? I'm gonna say Varish. We've only got his POV a few times, so I'm not completely 100% the name. There's him, and then my other thinking is Denth, because we know that they have hatred of each other. And I think Denth might be the bad guy, because
We in today's reading we saw Denth with his sword quickly kill two thugs without any hesitation, while Vareth has, he tries not to kill people, and even in the beginning he asks for consent in a way. He's like, hey, if you give me this, I'll give you a swift death so it's painless, but if not, then they're gonna do that, which it's morally gray. It's definitely not a good thing, but it's not completely bad. He didn't just go in and murk him. I guess he did lead. It's not 100. It's not a full theory, but I don't think Varys is as bad as the characters are thinking he is. We'll see though. Funny thing there. Also, one thing that was a complaint for me, but was answered in this chapter, is I thought it was really weird how the God King was just picked up reading like that. He, no time at all, was just learning how to read in a week and had pretty good comprehension. Kindergartner, I guess he's an adult, but still, if you have no language barrier or no comprehensive language, it's going to be hard. But then in the same chapter 26 of Lightsong, he talks about how he remembers stuff from the past. He can remember, he didn't have to relearn how to read and speak and all that. So that kind of answers that, and I think that was not foreshadowing, but it answered the problem I had. So that was good to see. Other than that, I don't know if Lightsong was the rebel, because he's been a god for 3 or 5 years, something like that, and I don't know if the timeline add up. It's the timeline hasn't been expressed. The timeline hasn't been expressly stated, so that's still a possibility. I'm dumb. Varn was the rebel from the prologue, so no, Lightsong is not Varn or whatever his name is. So far, those are my theories for today. I'm about almost halfway through the book. Like I said, I wasn't planning on talking about today's reading, but we got some good stuff. Also, man, I think it's terrible that one mercenary just buys animals, then either through neglect or anger just kills them. So rip those animals. That guy should not be getting animals, but hey, whatever. All right, so we just finished chapter 32, and we have our first Hoid, probably only Hoid cameo in this whole book. So far, I think it's the best chapter with Hoid, because just from a line count, in Mistborn, again, it's been a while, but I think he was just kind of hinted at. He was supposed to be an informant, and then in Elantris, he has the after credits thing and all that. But for the most part, this is the most we've got of Hoid so far. And overall, I thought it was a good chapter. It feels like one of those chapters where on a reread, and when I know more about the Cosmere, it's gonna be pretty important. You're gonna pick up a lot of stuff there. I think the magic he's doing with some powders and all that is intriguing. I've heard a little bit about his backstory and theories about him, so I also think that where he said he learned the tricks. I'm gonna say it's magic. He learned the tricks where two worlds meet and gods die, and I think that's very interesting. And I know we don't have Hoid's backstory at all, and there's, like I said, some theories about it, but I think that could be a pretty big hint, as the one theory I heard about him does include the shards and everything. How I like the line, it's paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly, basically everything is true and everything's a lie. It kind of makes me think that hey, to this society, they're gonna see the royal family, they did this, so to them that's true, what they believe is true, and then obviously if you have a different counter argument on it, you're gonna say it's a lie and false. And while Sanderson doesn't strike me as someone that would have relative truths, I think from this perspective, each truth, whether it's true or not, but each truth of the society thinks they're telling the truth and everyone else is a lie. So that's very interesting. I'm interested to see if that's kind of a more Cosmere thing as a whole, or is that just more just applicable to Warbreaker. So we'll see. I think it'd be interesting as a whole, as a series as a whole, or a universe as a whole, if that was a big standpoint of it, or big theme. I don't know why I took so long to get theme. So yeah. Well, like I said, best Hoid appearance so far, so put it on the list. Number 1, S tier Hoid for this. I just want to say it's very interesting, the arc of Vivenna, how she is just taking all. It's basically the Michael Jordan I took that personally meme, except she does that for
everything, and how it's just like souring her character and making her turn on her religious beliefs and like everything she has looked forward. And it's a very interesting character. It's a very well written, interesting character. I don't like Vivenna, but she's well written, and that she is just taking everything on the chin. My goodness. I'm guessing that's going to lead to her downfall. She was just captured, and I think that'll help reveal, Varish, I think that's his name. I think that'll help reveal the character of Varish, because like I said, I predicted that he's actually one of the good guys, and like Denth is bad. Did I call it? No, you couldn't trust those people. That was always so dumb. This one, I don't think it's as bad, but I hate the trope or the style where it's like, if the villain would have just kept their mouth shut, they would have been fine. Like, the villain goes and has this whole monologue and just complaining about tells his whole plan. And, then it's like, oh, now we know, and now we can solve the problem. But I will say, at least Vivenna was trapped, and by the time they got her, like, she would have found out. But I mean, they could have played some stuff off. Like, it wasn't as egregious as other things, but it's that classic Bond villain monologue, and it gets them in trouble. Yeah, it felt good to be right about that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I will say, since Denth knows how biochroma works and all that, I think it's weird that he would try to hide, like, disguise, is it Lemming's death as sickness, when he knows that people with that much breath can't get sick. Obviously, the princess should have gotten that. Vivenna should have clicked her mind. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she was like new to the town and was just swamped with a bunch of other stuff and wasn't thinking straight. But for someone that like knows all this stuff, why didn't he come up with a better cover story? Like, that's stupid in my opinion. He should have, if he knows this stuff, then obviously as soon as she's like, wait a second, because I get it in the moment, she might not be like, oh, people that breath, but the more she thinks about it, I'm sure like passively, you wake up at night and you're like, wait a second. And I think he should have come up with a better, a little bit more realistic for him to come up with a better story for why he died. All right, so I'm going to finish the book today, and I wanted to get this done last night when I was, kind of building up to the climax of the story, but I just didn't have the opportunity. Some work stuff came up, and I wasn't able to, stop and record. But anyways, so in the story, we're at, oh, look, this guy's looking at me as they drive past. What's up, old man? How you doing? Have a good one. He waved. He's probably wondering why I'm looking at my phone. Anyways, that was weird. Blushweaver just got straight up murked by the priests. Light Song gave him the commands, and I was surprised he used like the actual command Red Panther and not was underlined blue. I thought maybe he'd try to be a little sneaky, but I mean, I guess he doesn't want his main priests to die, so I can understand that. Ciri is still confined. Vivenna, gosh, where is Vivenna? I think she's at the hideout. I think she just went to find Vasher, and Vasher has been detained by Denth. And we'll see how he escapes. And the sword was just thrown out into the river and found by the man. So that's about where I'm at right now. I got 2.5 hours left. I'm gonna finish it, and you'll be getting another one. Same, same backdrop. It's probably be in a different location, but same outfits. It's gonna be today. I'm not gonna try to hide or do any editing magic. It's today that I'll be finishing it. My predictions are, we'll find out when I'm editing what my original predictions. I still think one of them was that Light Song would end up sacrificing himself, and I still think the whole story of Light Song has been building to this part where he doesn't care, and then he's gonna end up sacrificing himself to save the war or something. I think because they're in the underground place, he was sneaking, and they didn't mention that he was in the place where they store the undead soldiers, or lifeless soldiers, and I do think that he'll find a way to escape and basically use those lifeless to take over, or like storm the castle.
Bye-bye, boy!
Have fun storming the castle!
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye!
Ciri is gonna find some way to get her and the God King, why am I drawing blank on his name, out of there. I think she's gonna be a big part in, you know, saving peace and everything. Probably Vivenna will save him. I'm still not a big fan of Vivenna. Vasher, obviously we found out is one of like the 5 like studier people. So he's a lot older than what we thought, and that'll be interesting to see where he is. I don't know. Maybe Vivenna will find the sword and throw it and kill Denth. Who knows? But that's my main thing. Basically, it's Lightsong will use the life list. Gosh, I don't know why I keep use the life list to storm the castle. Man, everyone's just looking at me when I have a phone up. You know, they should expect that I'm doing something important. I'm not. But that's what my breaks are for. You know, take a break, relax, shoot some videos. Yeah, he'll storm the castle with the life list. Ciri. Okay, if I had to call something, maybe she actually gets pregnant and they can have a kid. Maybe that's a real thing, even though it was kind of, I don't think the God King can actually do it. He really just seems like an Awakened with a lot more breath. Yeah, so I think in some way maybe she'll get the name Warbreaker. Because I still think Warbreaker is going to be the name of some deity or some, you know, high up person. So we'll see. That's all I got. We'll find out, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Gonna be a few seconds, but it'll be probably 4 or 5 hours for me. But we'll see how right I am, or most likely how wrong I am. Yeah, I was wrong about a lot of things. I will say the ending kind of lost me. It wasn't as like I felt like when I was reading, like, say, Elantris, like the last like hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, this book has engrossed me. But maybe I just had a little more ADHD today, and it kind of lost me at the end. I'm like, you know, first of all, the whole Warbreaker thing. Okay, at least he didn't end it with, my name was Warbreaker. I would have, like, as soon as he said that, I'm like, ugh. Like, okay, maybe it's just a trope, or, you know, something that's just like, who am I? I'm the name of the book title. End scene. And I don't know. I'm just like, ugh. For real. Other than that, Lightsong did give up his life to save, end up being the God King. Didn't think it would be the God King, but it was very nice that his arm just happened to be right. They didn't tell, like, I didn't have a scale for the room, so part of me was like, of course his arm was right next to the cage of Lightbringer. Like, what are the odds? But I mean, it could have been a small room, and maybe I just missed that. I do find when I listen to audiobooks that I miss some of the details, like Wheel of Time. For like 2 or 3 books, I thought Moraine. In my brain, I pictured Moraine with blonde hair. Totally not blonde hair, but just I sometimes when I'm listening to audiobooks, like, I'm driving, so I can't give 100% to the audiobook. So I miss some of the small details like that. So I could go back and see, maybe I missed the size of the room, but I'm just like, I mean, yeah, stuff like that happens. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't like the whole. I mean, I guess the whole plot did hinge on it, but. You know, maybe I missed out. I'll give that one a slide there. Vasher's thing, or Warbreaker, at the end where he just, like, I thought it was cool at first when he just, like, takes out the sword. Why do I keep on drawing blank at the sword? But he takes out the sword and just starts, like, murking people, like the life list and all that. And then he just keeps on running with it. Like, dude, you know you're gonna, like, expend breath. Put it back in the sheath, dude, my guy. If you know as soon as you run out, you're gonna die, like. If you spent 2 extra minutes to go up the stairs, you know, 5 extra minutes to go up the stairs, I don't think it's gonna matter, dude. Like, you're stupid. Just put it back in the sheath. We don't even. You could say, like, oh, he threw the sheath away, because that's how they describe it in the book. But then, like, the next chapter, he just has it back in the sheath. It's like, dude, you almost killed yourself and almost let Death win because you were too stupid to put it back in the sheath, and you knew the consequences, and you could have just ran and took a little extra time because the plot didn't demand that you need to be there right there, and granted, he didn't know. But my man, come on! What is up? Anyways, okay. Ciri, I wish. I don't care about Vivenna, and I do like Vasher, but Vivenna I think is a well-written character. I just don't like her. So, if the next book, which is supposed to be the title of the sword that can never Knight's Blood, I think. Knight's Blood. For some reason, it just doesn't stick up in this memory box here. If it's about Vasher and Vivenna, I mean, I'll read it, but I don't care about Vivenna. So I kind of wish I'm guessing it's the happily ever after type thing for Chevron and Ciri. But also, one thing that's said throughout the whole book is that the God King knows the override password to all the lifeless. So I'm like, okay, you know, he's just gonna get out there ahead of them and then change the password. And you might be saying, oh, you know, maybe I'm guessing the reason is maybe that wasn't true. We obviously don't know if the priests were lying or something. But I mean, he is like the 10th stage of the Awoken. Maybe it died with the priest, but I'm like, why would the priests, they have their own secret script, so why couldn't they just like tell him the password and then he would know it? And I guess his tongue's out, so they don't expect him to do it anyways. But I'm just like, okay. I mean, yeah, it was cool that the statues were made of bones, but I felt like the answer was right there. And most of the priests were dead, but some of the high priests were, so maybe they just didn't know. And if that was the case, I wish they would have explained that more, because other than that, it just seems like a missed thread that you've been hinting at this whole time, that the God King can overwrite them all, and then he doesn't. I'm gonna let it digest a little bit. I'll probably make the video, the whole video, outside the vlog tomorrow, maybe Sunday, so I'll give it some time to digest. Right now, it felt like it was the opposite of interest. Like most of the book, I was pretty engaged. I like the magic system a lot, and then at the end, I'm just like, whatever. But I enjoyed it. Did I say he was one of the? I did say he was one of the 5. I wasn't expecting anyone of the 5 to be awakened. So that was a nice little twist that I didn't see coming. I didn't see Blue Fingers being the bad guy, and that was a good twist. I feel like they did a good job. I still don't fully I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I have to go back and reread the synopsis. There's still some stuff I don't fully understand. And again, that could be me listening to the audiobook while having to maintain most of my concentration on, you know, trying not to kill myself or other people. So I will find details like that. I will write off as maybe I missed it. I like the way that it was hinted at, the whole, like, if you take even just 50, that it will like start to seize up your body even if you don't have any. Basically shocks you for a second. And I like how they use that for Denth to kill Denth, but again, Vasher should just have the sword ready, because he should have kept it in the sheath, and then when he ran into Denth again, just killed him with that. But whatever, that's not the case. Does the 50 breath, I mean, that's a low number, and since we know Denth was also one of the Awakened, he's at least, you know, 5th level. Would that 50 give the same shock as someone that only had 1 breath? Because if you have 1 breath, that's 50 times what you're used to, so I can see that being the shock. But if you're at the 5th level of power, would 50, it's like a fraction. So I don't know. It was cool either way. Tung Fa left. Yeah. I felt like the girl and the crew just kind of disappeared for the whole ending. As soon as Tung Fa, we don't see him leave, but we don't hear about the other girl either in her life list. So that's, I guess they just left. I don't think they just took the money and run, because obviously Tung Fa was there later. So who knows what happens with her. I'm guessing she'll become enemy in any future book, along with, you know, the other of the 5 that were alive. Was I kind of disappointed that Circe didn't die and come reawaken? Yes, because I thought that would be cool, but, you know, obviously your own thought is gonna, if you think something's gonna happen, doesn't, you're gonna be a little disappointed. So there's that. I think it would have been cool, even if she didn't become the title Warbreaker, if she would have died and was like reawoken. Like a little bit of spoiler right ahead for Wheel of Time. You don't want too many fake out deaths, so I guess, you know, it's okay in that aspect. But I think it would have been cool that, you know, they're 2 Awakens, you know, living together. But then I guess she would have to keep on consuming some souls and all that. So maybe it's for the best that didn't happen. But yeah, I'll give let me stew on this a little bit more and think about it, and I'll give you guys my final review right now.
So yeah, I did call Denth was a bad guy. I didn't think that was too crazy of a prediction. Now, Blue Fingers, like I said in the wrap-up, did not see coming, so that was a good job, Sanderson. Yeah, it makes sense why he would have done that. I think as a nation, it's weird that, especially if they didn't have a military, which they don't talk about those people very much, so we don't know their full strength, but like everyone says they're a peaceful nation, and like now they're striking out. So I don't know if they had the military to, you know, get an alliance, or I think one of the things that maybe Bluefinger didn't account for is, especially if like one of the 2 kingdoms wiped the other one out, or like did massive damage, and like if they got a sniff of what I'm drawing blank on all the kingdoms' names, on what the Blue Fingers nation did, I think they would just wipe them out. And, you know, they might just be like, you know, we've conquered this one. You guys are a peaceful nation for the most part. This should be easy. Let's just steamroll them. Depends on how much warmongering the nations want to do, which I'm sure most people don't. Like I alluded to before, I'm excited for the sequels, just not for them. I think Vasher Be very interesting, and maybe, you know, with the more experience, and I don't know if Sanderson's fleshed out the character more, maybe Vivenna becomes a more likable character. Also, I don't know if maybe Vivenna, not liking Vivenna is a hot take, so let me know in the comments if maybe you're just like, Vivenna is my favorite character, and you're completely wrong. That is more than likely the case. That is very much a possibility. Like, and you know, it's subjective, so I can't tell you you're wrong for liking a character, but it just wasn't the best for me. Like I said, the ending did kind of start to lose me. I don't know. So yeah, overall, I've made up my own rating system, and it's based off my dog. So it's gonna have it's between 1 and 10 boons. I'm gonna give this the first ever boons rating system. The first ever book reviewed by the boons system is getting 8 out of 10 boons. I think this is a very good book. I'm excited to see where things go in the future. I like a lot of the characters. Some of the humor did start to grind on me, but you know, you kind of saw that all. Really, in a sense, I feel like this post spoilers thing is kind of just a recap of everything I said. So if you made it this far, thank you. But next up, we're gonna be doing Way of Kings. Next up, we're gonna be doing the Way of Kings, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm kind of intimidated by it. It's like almost 400,000 words. That's the word count, and your standard definition of a novel is 60,000 words. So this is like almost 7 novels in one, and I'm excited, but I'm also kind of nervous. So I'm gonna be I'm aiming for like about a month, maybe 5 or 6 weeks of reading time. I know it's not a hard line for you guys to do it, but I'm gonna try to get through it as fast as possible, and then we'll make the video from there. I kind of, it's hard to gauge. I listen to about maybe 15 to 17 hours of a book a week. So in theory, that should put me like just under a month, but you know, stuff happens, and I'm just gonna give it, you know, about 5 or 6 weeks, and we'll come back and talk about it. We'll see how much vlogs I get. I mean, it's double the time of this one almost, so who knows? I'm excited though. Let me know your thoughts on what you thought of Warbreaker. Was Warbreaker better than Elantris, or do you like Elantris better? What's your favorite Cosmere book? We're gonna get through there. If this is your first time watching, I'm doing Cosmere read through. We did Elantris, and then I've read Mistborn in the past. I didn't have the audible credits, so I just did like a recap of that, and now we just did Warbreaker, and next on is Way of Kings, and we're doing it in publication order because I just feel like that's the best way to go about reading a new series, is when then you can see like the hints that the author drops, or you know, nods to other places, and I just think that's the best way to go about this. Let me know what series you guys want to see next. I already have some plans for, not series, but like next world you want me to do next, because we're gonna kind of go by universes, and I will be doing random books throughout the year, because I have a nightstand book, which is what it sounds. It is what it sounds like, that it's just a book I have on my nightstand that I read every night, and I'm not going to put a time limit on that. But I'm reading Dune right now, so you will get a Dune video somewhere in the near future. And it won't have the vlogging, because I'm not going to just be like, sorry, Becca, I got to stay up all night and just vlog. So that one will be kind of more concise and more expounding. I don't feel the need to like, you know, go back into what I already did as a vlog. And if you want more of that, I can try to do a more analytical approach, but I feel like for the most part you got my genuine reactions to things on this vlog. I feel like you guys got my genuine reaction to things on this vlog, so let me know what you thought, and let me know what other books I should read, and how many boons would you rate this out of 10 boons? How many boons would you rate this book? I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.